Alright, this is the pepperoncini. Okay. This is the other pepperoncini. This isn't the Italian pepperoncini. I'm going to label this video as Pepperoncini 2. So it's a second pepperoncini plant. I don't know if these pepperoncinis are going to come out exactly the same as the other pepperoncinis. Nevertheless, they're two different seed companies. I am going to review these seeds independently of each other. So I don't want to assume that they're both the same. They might have different growing habits. They might be from a different part of the country, or maybe hybridized very slightly different with other growers. So regardless of what the nature is, even though the names are basically the same, I'm going to review them separately. Okay, so anyway, there's the big stem. Look at the big stem on this thing. This is quite an amazing sized pepper here. This thing's pretty massive, actually. It's a smooth stem. It's a waxy type of stem. It's got a narrow leaf, but long and broad. Narrow though. It's not a broadleaf. It's broad. It's long and broad, but it's not broad. There's just a slight touch of purpling in the stem. Not very much. Just a slight touch. You can see up there. All right. There is purpling at the nodes. Okay. You can see purpling at the nodes. Here's the fruits. All right. You can see this plant is producing fruits prolifically, even in the intense heat we got up here this year. Like I said, we're seeing temperatures from anywhere between the upper 80s all the way into the mid 90s, and in this greenhouse in the mid 90s is at least 120 degrees. I will include that in the video. Maybe not in this video because I'm going to put this up before it happens, but when if I can remember it's 120 to come in here and videotape the thermometer, I'll show you what the actual temperature is. So yeah, these are the regular pepperoncinis from the other one. It's not the Italian pepperoncini, even though it might be an Italian pepperoncini. I don't know for sure. So here's a flower, but this one's not going to make it, guys. This one's got a little yellow on it. It's going to fall. It's been dropping flowers as well in this intense heat. But that's about the only flower I got from this pepperoncini. And here's another one over here. You can see that one above it. This one right here is probably going to fall off. They're turning, when you see a little yellow in it, it's just going to fall off. So, but you can see all the peppers from the pepperoncini plant. I counted them, and I counted over 30 on this whole plant right now, just the way it is. It's not a dense plant. Its leaves are thin. It's more spread out. The sunlight can get all the way down to the base of the plant, so it has no problem getting light all the way through the plant. You can see the plant. It goes all the way up to about here. All right. Sometimes they take this one outside and leave it outside too in the sun. But again, remember, the sun is so hot, it's scorching, cooking hot. It's not as hot as in here, but now you're in direct sunlight, and that kind of puts a little stress on the plants, you know. They're getting a little yellow on the leaves. All my plants are starting to get a little yellow. My tomatoes are really suffering. It's just incredibly hot. This is definitely one of the warmest seasons I've experienced in many years. You can see there's all kinds of pepper drops. It's the heat doing it. It's just way too much. Yeah, that's with a breeze in here. This plant is, I'd probably say it's close to 36 inches. Maybe just under. It might be like 34 inches, something like that. All right. And we got the leaf, the stem. We got the flower, the fruit. And let's just wait until they ripen up before I do a taste test on them. I mean, I could pick one now and test it, but I got to do an update video to this anyway. So I'd rather do this when it's when they start to ripen, and that way I could take some of the load off the plant all at once. That will help the plant out sufficiently in this type of weather. So anyway, that's the pepperoncini. Here we go. That's the pepperoncini, pepperoncini pepper. Now that's different from the Italian pepperoncini. It probably is the same pepper, because a lot of these seed companies like to throw in a little mix on you so you get something a little different. It's probably the same exact thing. But as far as I know, I'm going to separate this video from the other pepperoncini, the Italian pepperoncini. I'll call this Pepperoncini 2 in the title when you're searching it out. Just so you know, it's a second. It's not from the same seed package and the same company. All right. So I paid 99 cents. Not bad at all. Seednows.com. So here's the seed pack. All right. Hold on at an angle so you can see the light. All right. You can see all those great details right there. All right. 15 seeds. It's a sample pack, guys. How many seeds you need? One plant. Wait till you see, or you see in the video before this, you could see in the video before this how many peppers are on that thing. How many do you want? I mean, if you grow that thing out in your yard, I mean, you could grow them in little pots like I got, but it's not going to reach 5, 6 and become a giant tree. But if I was to plant that out in my garden and had grown that with the wood chips and the mulch down, that thing probably get 4 or 5 feet tall and just bush out like a tree. I'd probably get thousands of these things. But I don't want thousands. I just want to grow enough to get some climatized seeds to my greenhouse with the intense heat that it's got. And then I can start to grow outdoors in my environment. So this year is really just climatizing all these plants and these seeds. Just getting them to grow. So I'm not even really concerned about fruit production and the size of the plant. I mean, I want to keep them healthy, but... yeah, seeds now. Here's an image of it. Scoville units, 900. That's basically a sweet pepper. To me, anything under 1,000 is basically sweet. So I'll probably put this in the sweet playlist. It could be as low as 0, I would imagine. They do have a little bit of a bite on them, but you eat the pepper, you eat the pickled ones, right? I mean, they don't burn you at all. I mean, I eat them all the time in salads when I go out to eat. So, I don't consider them hot, but we'll check it. You never know. You never know. This particular one might get hot on me. I'm going to put it under the hot, you know. But for now, it's going in sweet. All right. If it changes, I'll move it around later. So that's your Pepperoncini pepper. Seeds now.